Ian.
Hello, Simone.
I would like to welcome our guest on today's GT Talks, Ian Chambers. Ian immigrated from South Africa in May 2008 and has lived in Mauritius since then. Today we are talking about the importance of a South African resident to hold a foreign bank account.
Very good question, Simone. The answer to this question is indeed important to South Africans, especially given South Africa's history of foreign exchange controls. As recently as 1997, South African residents were not permitted to open and operated a foreign bank account without the express written approval of the Treasury. A lot has changed since 1997, and South Africans are now permitted to hold and operate foreign bank accounts. You mentioned about the importance to open a bank account outside South Africa. Yes, that is important because it is now far easier to externalize funds from South Africa than previously was the case. South Africans are permitted to transfer up to 1 million rand per year out of South Africa to a foreign bank account without any approval required from SARS. Also, the holding of a foreign bank account in the investment currencies, US dollars, pounds, euros, Australian dollars, Swiss francs, always assists in South Africans travelling as they can settle their domestic purchases in the domestic currency because they hold this currency offshore. The foreign bank accounts also acts as a protection against the rand depreciation as it has depreciated consistently since 1981. The accounts, as I mentioned, can be used to make foreign payments. Also significant in that Mauritian bank accounts are fully digitized and payments for goods that are acquired in South Africa, especially purchased via the internet, can be acquired utilizing the bank accounts that exist that sit in the Mauritian bank accounts. This obviously makes the banking process far easier.
What about tax?
Well, any interest that a South African earns on a non-resident bank account is taxable in South Africa. The top tax rate in South Africa is 45%, and unlike domestic interest earned in South Africa, there are no exemptions available.
Any other thoughts?
I would mention that should you wish to open a bank account in Mauritius, look at the various offerings that the banks have. There are minimum balance requirements. There are other banks that offer what are referred to as multiple currency accounts. In other words, a single bank card will have access to 5 or 6 bank accounts depending on the account held at that particular bank. And as I mentioned, banks do require minimum deposits, but also check as to bank charges. The operation of a bank account in Mauritius, there are varied bank charges, and again, check with the banks as to what these charges are. I would mention that Juristax does have relationships with all the banks in Mauritius and is able to assist in the opening of a bank account in Mauritius.
Thank you, Ian, for sharing your thoughts with GT.
Absolute pleasure, as always, Simone.